right. Monday Night Football. This is a great one. I mean, for all the sloppy, ridiculous, unbelievable Week 3 Sunday, we get Lions and Ravens on Monday night. I mean, at this point, I feel like I'll just give you two stats. I'll hear what you have to say, and then I'll give you a few bets. But at home and night games, John Harbaugh, 23-4 straight up as coach of the Ravens. And in November earlier, he is 19-1 straight up in those games. And then I found this one insane. This one kind of shows how dominant against the spread the Lions have been, at least in recent history. But they throttled the Bears last week, winning by 31. Most of the time, that would tell you to fade Detroit the next week. Under Dan Campbell, Detroit is 16-4 against the spread in their game directly after winning by 11 plus points. They just keep their foot on the pedal. Pretty impressive. So what are you doing here with Detroit and Baltimore?
Yeah, these teams played 2 years ago, and the Ravens absolutely demolished them. 38-6, 28-0 at halftime. Last week, the Browns stacked the box against Derrick Henry, really shut down Derrick Henry and dared Baltimore to pass. And I think Detroit probably will try something similar. They like to play a lot of man, but the problem here is the Lions are bottom 5 in explosive play rate allowed, and they are second worst in passing explosive play rate. Well, guess what? The Ravens are pretty darn explosive. They lead the league in explosive, and we've seen it plenty. And by the way, in hindsight, the Ravens dropping 40 on the Browns looks pretty good, it turns out, when the Packers can only get to 10. So I like the Ravens a lot here. It's not a great spot on the number to back them. Historically, Lamar as a home favorite of 3 to 10 points, 8-19-1 ATS. So that's a little bit of a red flag here. I think the way to bet the Ravens, if you like them, Old Faithful, Lamar first half. We know the stat, 60-34-2. 64% ATS in the first half for his career, 2-0 ATS this year, and first half number is -2.5. So you can get under the key number that way. Don't worry about the backdoor, that sort of thing. Just play for the Ravens to come out quickly. A lot of trends like the under here. That's the hater bet, I suppose. This total's been bet up. It was 50.5. It's now like 53.5. Non-Thursday primetime under 61% since 2019. Goff has actually been the most profitable active quarterback to the under on totals 51 and above, 63% there. And this is a luck under as well. So I think an under is a good play. And then one prop for you, I like Zay Flowers a lot in this game. He's getting wide receiver 1 volume. And again, we think they're probably going to have to pass in this game. So they've actually been pretty run heavy, Baltimore, so far, only 48 passes in 2 games. Given that, Zay's had 7 catches each week for 143 and 75 yards. That's pretty huge, actually. He's getting 43% of the targets in Baltimore, 42% of the receptions. That's nearly half of all the passing Baltimore is doing is going to Zay Flowers. Still no likely in this game. And Detroit allowed the most yards to any receivers last season. 14 games out of 17, the team's wide receiver 1 had at least 64 yards. They averaged 91 yards a game. And we saw Odunze light up the Lions last week also. That's kind of just, Detroit's going to live with that. If you can beat them throwing to your wide receiver 1, beat them in man-to-man coverage, they'll live with it. So I think Baltimore will live with it as well. 70 yards hits the over for Zay Flowers, just the traditional. And I'll play a little bit of 90 yards at 2-1 odds as well. Detroit allowed 90 yards or more 11 times last year. And Zay Flowers hit that 6 times himself. And I think he's going to take another step up with the way they're playing this year. And if Detroit hangs around a little bit, that's probably even better because they may have to actually keep passing and not just run the ball out the whole second half.
Yeah, I like the Flowers look. All right, let me roll through some bets here. Don't ever say I didn't do anything for you, especially just getting you some ideas ready for Monday Night Football because I got some fun stuff here. I already logged Montgomery touchdown in the app. I was splitting it with Kareem Hunt, assuming I liked both of them at plus money, and I thought at least one would get in the end zone. Well, let's hope they both do. I like the Sam Laporta look. Fannin and Njoku went 9 of 88 against Baltimore. Kincaid and Knox go 6 of 68. Laporta, 4 receptions, 40-plus receiving yards is -110 on DraftKings. I think that is a decent look in this game. I'll give you a few more here. So I like the Lions team total over 12.5 in the second half. So they've played 17 straight games, Detroit, where they've scored 7+ points in the second half. It's close enough where I feel like Brandon's Baltimore first half look has been Lamar's staple. And I think the ability for Detroit to have to put the foot on the pedal and score some points in the second half is a decent look. I believe their first half total is 10.5, second half 12.5. So I will take the 12.5, and I'll give you 3 long shots here. So Brandon likes the Ravens early. I think that's, again, the right call. So I will look at Baltimore to score first and then lose the game at 5-1. The only thing I'll say is this. If Baltimore scores first, open up DraftKings, go to the scoreboard, check out what the Lions are on the money line. Because I think it's interesting to see how, depending how quick Baltimore scores, what the situation is. I'm assuming it's not going to be that high. So I think this price is decent, at least in that moment, especially if it's a back and forth. And 2 more. A first team touchdown. Like I said, I like Laporte in this spot, but I think an early fun look is Brock Wright, first team touchdown for the Lions at 22-1. And then one funsy, since this game could get absolutely wild with both offenses and the fact that it is 53.5 on the total, each team to score a rush pass touchdown in each half at DraftKings, 50-1. I think it's worth a few dollars in this type of game. Listen, you just sat through 22-9 KC Giants. At least you could do is put a 50-1 job and hope for some rushing, passing touchdowns. Maybe you get a little bit close. So those are the looks that I have here. Some fun stuff, some less higher odd stuff, but those are my looks. Any thoughts there?
Yeah, I mean, it's an exciting game. We don't get a lot of great Monday night games anymore. We stack the deck on Sunday nights usually, so I feel like we should not take for granted. The following week we get a doubleheader with Jets, Dolphins, and then Jake Browning in the second. Jake Browning and Bo Nix and Tua and Justin Fields or Tyrod or whoever. Like, let's watch some real good football teams tomorrow. And hopefully we just gave you like 12 bets to find something good in there and have a little fun watching a good game on Monday night.
You mentioned Jaguars, Chiefs in primetime coming up. Maybe those are some scary primetime games potentially.